Rob Ushy returns for his second season as manager of Oosterhout Twins, leading a team that's building on last year's historic success with key additions and standout performance. Rob, last season was historic for the Twins. How do you make sure that success becomes a foundation and not a one-time peak?
I think it's the biggest part for that is the players um, instilling belief in themselves, and that I mean, it was. I think we probably were the youngest, if not bottom, kind of 2, 3 for age level last year for in the league. Having confidence in baseball is one of the biggest aspects of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's easy to lose it as from a player's perspective, and so just making sure we keep believing and we keep striving forward and working hard. You look at the number of comebacks we had last year. Win or lose in the long run, we still, made games interesting at the end. If we were down early, we came back. I know the last game in that semifinal against Hossier is a perfect example of them getting us coming back, them getting us, and that was a fun game to be part of. And obviously, we wish for a different result, but it's uh, it's building on that. We're getting there, and we're gonna keep busting our butt, and we're gonna keep putting pressure on you. And confidence is gonna be
Yeah.
the way to keep growing.
Yeah. It's instilling belief and having confidence, something that you, take pride in as a coach and teaching the guys that, or?
You kind of have to, as a coach. I can make any decision in a game. I'm not the one actually out there playing. I'm not the one who has to make that split second decision, or as a pitcher, has to have the confidence in what I'm doing, or as the catcher, calling a game, making that decision. And so, as a coach, you got to trust your players in that situation. And the way you trust them is by seeing them believe in themselves. If you're not going to believe in yourself, why should someone believe in you? And I think players on our club, it's a perfect blend of confidence. I'm not going to say arrogance because that's not the right word. Competitive levels, confidence, desire, and then and as a coach, that's what you want to bring out of your players. And if they do it, you just kind of sit back and watch players play baseball.
If we look at the rest of the league, there's been a lot of transfers. I think Twins, like Neptunus, there hasn't been a lot of changes. What do you think of the I could call it a carousel, which is happening in the league?
You look at a club like Neptunus not making a lot of changes, adding two quality players,
Mm-hmm.
like up quality players in the league, and making them even stronger. And then for us, you need to build on what you have. For where we finished last year, it was as I said, a historic season for the club. For a lot of the players as well. As a younger club, I mean, you don't want to all of a sudden bring in all kinds of new players. We didn't have players transfer out. I think that's to the club and the players. They enjoy being around each other. They enjoy coming to the field and putting in work for a couple hours, whether it's for training or for games, and putting in that work and being around it together.
Wyatt Langford, he played a huge role last season for you guys. But you guys found a solid replacement, I think. Ayumu Ishikawa from Japan, MPB pitcher, veteran. He comes in with a lot of experience. What excites you most about having him in the Twins lineup?
Losing Wyatt is will obviously be a big loss. He was with the Twins for 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Last year when I was there, and then the year before. And you look at his numbers in the league. He threw not last year, but the year before. He had 2 no hitters. Last year he had great numbers. Very good clubhouse guy. Acted as a pitching coach in games for me
Mm-hmm.
as well. And losing something like that is it's tough. I mean, he's a one time player. Best of luck to him in his personal life. Adding the arm we're getting out of Japan. I mean, I coached in Japan for part of a year, and I'm gonna have to try to freshen up on some Japanese. The experience that he brings at a professional level and an international level already is invaluable. To have that as on the field in a game,
Mm-hmm.
but also off the field, being able to, if there's anything I know about Japanese players, is their work ethic is phenomenal. Quality pitcher who should, hopefully be able to keep us in games, maybe win a couple himself. Because that's baseball. There's going to be days that that you don't hit, and or you're up against some of the best in the league, and they're good pitchers too, and you need that arm to go inning for inning, pitch per pitch, and excited to have him join us.
You talked about sometimes you don't hit, but particularly last season, you had two guys that actually did hit pretty good. Because both Rileyson Ventura and Timon Peters, they made the all-first Hoofdklasse offensive team last season. Being their coach, what excites you the most about having players like Ventura and Peters in your lineup for coming season 2?
Me being new, it was still kind of adapting to and finding how we wanted to play. I have a certain way of playing that I enjoy, and so even I think some of their numbers could, and some of our other players' numbers can be even better with now kind of more being comfortable with how they are individually as players, and maybe not. Maybe it was me trying to have them do something that they quite weren't. That wasn't their strength. And so now knowing them a little bit better, hopefully we'll be able to add to that. But having those two sit atop at their position in their kind of at an all-star team for levels is exciting. Riley, I guess, he's a staple there. He's one of the best third basemen in the league. He can do it with his bat. He can do it with his glove, and he's a leader on the field, and kind of go with a little bit by him. And Timon, I think, was last year. Is if there was a Rookie of the Year award, he might have even got that too. I think that was his first real full season. I know he's battled injuries the year before and playing time, but he earned the playing time. He works hard in the off season and gets himself ready, hitting on extra days, and just enjoys baseball, enjoys being there, and has fun, and wants to keep getting better and keep pushing the team. And kind of he found himself a good spot last year that he enjoyed and he was comfortable, and now it's building on that.
We have two more players I want to talk about. One is Simon Gross. He's returning from a year in Germany. And also Stijn van der Schaaf, who is joining Twins coming from HCV, and before that, coming from the Boston Red Sox organization. What do you think these two pitchers will bring to the Twins in upcoming season?
I guess Simon returning, he went home last year. A German player has been on the national team in Germany. Had a little bit of an injury last year, so coming forward, once I've spoken to him a little bit. Once we kind of get going in free season, we'll see how he's feeling and maybe ease him back a little bit. But expect him to be a big part of our bullpen. What I'm told, he is a character, but he obviously knows that line between being the character and being a professional. Because being a former national team player for Germany, the coaches there wouldn't have selected him if he was too one way or the other. So it's having him return can only see it being again an addition. And Stijn, I don't know a lot about him. When you have a resume that puts you in a Major League Baseball organization, you're going to be pretty good. With that kind of experience as well, can only kind of solidify a bullpen. Losing a couple pieces as well. You mentioned was Wyatt, but also with Ross Koku going to Belgium for opportunities there. He was back end of our bullpen player. Hopefully replacing Stijn. Hopefully he'll be able to do what he's done to make himself successful in the past and keep going forward. When he's got the pedigree and his, the reputation and what he's done, you're not looking to change things. You're looking to tweak. You're looking to tweak so he feels comfortable coming to a new organization.
If we look at Twins, you guys ended third. Is it a goal for next year to end above third, or like what would success look like for Twins at the end of the season?
Winning the championship. No, obviously everybody's going to want to win. You're not going into the season without that as an aspiration. Everybody wants to win. We won a lot of one-run games this year. And the year before, the Twins lost those one-run games. In baseball, there's good outs, there's bad outs, there's lucky outs. You need the baseball gods to sometimes look favorably upon you. We had a good start to the season. I thought we probably could have played better. And some of that is just, again, I mentioned before, it's like on myself not knowing the players and maybe not putting them in their best position to succeed at the time. So I think it's going to be a very competitive season in all games. You look at scores last year, there were some games that were very high scoring to 1-0, 2. I don't think we're going to see that this year. You'll still see a few here or there. Every team goes through a game where they have a bad game.
Yep.
And just one of those, it's like it's the fourth inning and you're down by 12 and you go, can we just end this already? But I don't see it happening as much this year. And like I said, we're that team. We're not going to give up. So we're going to keep putting pressure on you. And hopefully we'll be able to keep wearing that part down and just keep finding ways to win.
Yeah.